Alrighty, everybody. Welcome back to some more Starcraft action. Thank you, Escalade, for right off the bat sending something that got auto-modded immediately. I don't know why. I need to go into the auto-mod feature and turn off fingering as a bad word. Because, you know, it's really important for hand health. And if you're unaware, gosh dang it, guys. Okay, so I also have to allow fisting as well. Yeah, we tried that last time. It didn't work. Okay. Anyway, so this week we have a lot of great StarCraft action coming at you. We have the Week 7 Tier 2, and it is going to be between Bargain Bin Bonjwas and Zero Effort Zealot Rush. And I like this lineup a lot because I play with a lot of these players all the time. We got Airn, Newbtier, we've got Mevious, InsideJob. These are players that I'm very familiar with. And then also Airn V666. I'm pretty sure he's got a funny story where he went through hang on a sec. Sorry. He went through preseason as level 4 and then won all of his preseason matches, got placed in level 4 I think for like the first week of CPL, and he was just like, yeah, I'm way too good for this, and now he's up in tier 2 making a name for himself. So really exciting to see kind of the ascension there. But yeah, as you can see, we have a good amount of different matchups. We have ZVT, TVP, TVZ, PVZ. So it looks like we're going to get 3 of our 4 matchups are going to have Zerg. 3 of our matchups will have Terran, and 2 will have Protoss. So a nice little spread there, a little bit of everything. So yeah, we'll get on into it. Another thing I wanted to mention, just kind of a fun anecdote, is I actually streamed my gameplay last night for like the first time ever. And 2 things happened. One, it's extremely nerve-wracking to live stream your own gameplay. So for everyone out there that does so, kudos, because I was really nervous and it's hard to talk and play. So that was really fun. But I also found it very educational. So talking through what you're doing, I actually found I retained a lot of the learning points more than normal. And then number 2, what's up, Data? Nice to see you. Number 2, I think playing StarCraft makes me a very profane person. I went back and I watched my gameplay from last night, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm dropping the F-bomb constantly. I need to dial that back. So that's fun. And I'll try to do better about that if I stream more of my gameplay. Yeah, Data, so I was thinking about that. I did peek at the duration of that match. So I do still owe you guys the match between H-Meyer and someone else from the last stream. So I need to get that done. I don't think I'll be able to squeeze it in today. I'm actually concerned I might have an interruption at some point and have to like pause the stream and come back and finish. But what I wanted to hear coming up soon, maybe next week or maybe this weekend, is we have a lot of specific casting requests in CPL of like individual matches, and I might just tie it into that. I might just compile like 3 or 4 of those series and try to catch up on some of these older matches that were really good that didn't get any airtime. So anyway, I've been talking for far too long. It's been about 5 minutes already. Let's go ahead, do our anthem, which is the real reason we're all here. Let's be real. And then we'll get right into the Airn versus Newbtier match, and I'm really excited for it. So here we go, all right? Get those hand exercises, get those fingering going.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds and flaw. Gamers play, this never ends. CPL, where legends play. CPL, we fight tonight. Let us sing the storyline. From the shadows to the dream, we are the Coach-Pupil League. We are the Coach-Pupil League.
Cool. Formalities complete. let's go ahead and get straight into the game. Let me turn on desktop audio because I always forget. And it looks like our first match is going to be on Knockout. Fix the info. Alright, cool. And are we top versus bottom? Shift tab, we are! Excellent. So up here, you can see the names, right? So Airn is ZEZR Weedlord. Okay? He's a gardener. He's a gardener. He's really big about getting rid of weeds. Anyway, so here on Knockout in the top right, we have our gardener Weedlord, Airn, representing the bargain bin Bonjwas as our blue Zerg. And then down here in the bottom left, we have Terran as our red Terran, representing the zero effort Zealot Rush. Anything but zero effort. Terran, quite the grinder, actually. Not to be confused with, I think it's a dating app. I don't know. But he is always playing Starcraft. And he's definitely a great practice partner. So, big fan of Terran. He's also been dabbling a lot in Protoss. So I actually had to double check and see if he was actually playing Terran or Protoss in this matchup. Does look like he is playing Terran. And then Airn, Zerg Weedlord, has a little bit of a reputation for playing a little aggressive. 4-pool action, 9-pool action. He's a busy man. He's got things to do and likes to end games very quickly. So let's see if that's a strategy that he tries to bring into place today. So going into a hatch first. Nice little 12 hatch action. Does look like Mick building his barracks down here towards the ramp. And yeah, Overlord's not going to spot anything, but Airn is sending a drone straight cross map, and he is going to get an initial scout off on Terran. And we're just powering up, y'all. We're getting ready for some amazing StarCraft. And I've been casting so much and streaming so much, and it's like I'm just having so much fun doing it. It's probably becoming a detriment to other things. I think I'm slowly becoming addicted, but it's been a lot of fun. So I'm finding every opportunity I can to jump online. But then I realized I wasn't practicing at all. The heck you guys talking about? Interspecies coupling? Biracial? What? That is wild. What's up, Memnon? What's up, Dazzle? Good to see y'all. Alright, so we do have a spawning pool. Getting morphed here for Airn. We also have Gas going full bore. He's got 3 drones mining it. See if he makes any Zerglings. It looks like he's making 1 pair. Try to shoot this SCV out of here real soon. And my immediate assumption is that we're going to be seeing Lair into Mutalisks. Meanwhile, over here on the Terran side, Terran is looking like he's going into some bioplay. He does have expansion started already. And he is getting his refinery. So we'll see if he drops an academy alongside with this, or an engineering bay. Looks like he's going to start a bunker. So his SCV did die. Wondering if he's getting a little bit spooked. Like I said, Airn has a little bit of a reputation. So Terran might be kind of just protecting himself against any early Ling like floods that might be trying to race in here and get up the ramp into the main. Meanwhile, Zerg Weedlord, our blue Zerg, has started a 3rd base at the natural in the top left. So we'll see how long it takes for Terran to identify that. It does look like he snuck a 2nd SCV out. He might be trying to just confirm tech, get eyes on any Lings that might be coming across the map, or searching for that 3rd base, or all of the above. He is going to see that one Ling that was kind of scouting out here for Weedlord. And we have a creep colony going down for him as well. We already have our lair and spire, so we are going to be seeing Mutalisks popping out here relatively soon. And this SCV actually just going straight all the way into the base is going to see the spire timing. And that's going to give Newbtier an idea of what he's up against. Now, Academy has been built. We already have Stim on the way. And the engineering bay is also being thrown down. Now we have our 2 medics. It looks like Mick might be moving out. And we'll see, like, he hasn't identified that third base yet. And that SCV that he sent across died. So it looks like he might be trying to apply some pressure to the natural. He saw the one sunken colony get put down with the SCV that was scouting. But I don't think he saw the second or the third. So with 3 sunkens there, these Marines and medics aren't going to really be able to do a whole lot. I don't know if he saw that burrow occur either. But we did just get a couple scans. And so he's going to see 4 sunkens, and he's going to see up in the main the spire finishing. So with that, Newbtier is going to be heading home. And I know Mick likes to do that in order to force those sunkens. So mission complete in his eyes. And Airn with this early burrow, getting really good visibility of where the Terran army is at all times as it moves through the middle of the map. So that's fun to see. A couple sunkens here up in the top left, and we do have a couple of Mutalisks being morphed, but only 2. He did spend a lot of money on getting all these sunkens thrown down. Okay, meanwhile in the Terran base, we are up to 3 barracks. Getting a couple of turrets up here in the main. And it looks like we're getting 3 turrets down here at the natural. It'll make that 4. So I feel like the natural, I mean, he's got a pretty good defense here. And then with 3 barracks and only a couple Mutalisks being morphed, if the Mutalisks do come in, they're going to be later than normal. And we're already kind of at that point, right? We're at the 650 mark, generally around 6 minutes if you were close spawn. You'd be a little concerned about getting hit by Mutalisks. Cross spawn a little bit later. But we're pretty far behind the Mutalisk timing. So right now, Zerg Weedlord taking advantage of the fact that Mick is just staying at home and powering up his Mutalisk count to come in with a much bigger force of Mutalisks as opposed to just the 5 that you generally see. It looks like he's got 7 here right now. Third Extractor on the way. And Queen's Nest. Okay, so we might be seeing some early Ultralisks. Might be my bet. If Airn goes up into an early hive, that might be the route he decides to take. So the Mutalisks are going to come in here. Now, this is kind of the strong point that Mick has set up. He's got 4 turrets surrounding his refinery. If we look here, I guess we'll see the attack come in, but I'm curious where the weak point is in Mick's defense. Now, Airn, he does have that kind of increased muta count. He is at 8. So he's going to try to get some damage here, but unfortunately not really getting any shots off on the SCVs, and Mick is moving out. Now the Zergling is seeing all this. Nice placement too, right there on the bridge. And so because of the move out, the Mutalisks are likely going to be heading home. We'll see if he's able to pick off any of these stragglers, but Mick's doing a pretty good job of keeping his Marines bulk together, and a good amount of damage on the mutas. Now we are at 9 mutas. So might be able to pick off some of these Marines, but at the very least, keep them from charging completely across the map. Yeah, he's trying to hit some of these reinforcements. Does lose a Mutalisk in the process. Sorry, just reading something. Okay, so we've got 5 Sunkens here, and this is 11 Mutalisks. Now, with this amount of Mutalisks and the way the Marines are spreading on these bridges, Airn's doing a really good job being able to pick them off. I think that with this amount of Mutalisks, he might be able to just shred this. We got 1 control group of Marines, well, I guess 11 Marines, and then 2 medics, but Airn needs to either commit or be a little bit more careful, losing a few Mutalisks unnecessarily. We have a third sunken going down up here in the top left. And we did see Mick send a fire bat over here to the bottom right, but I don't know if he sent anything up here that may have died to these sunken. So I'm not really sure. No, he didn't. So he's not even aware of that third base as of yet. Meanwhile, we're going up to 5 barracks. We have our 2 starports, getting science facility, and getting a second eBay. So about to see a pretty significant power spike here from Newbtier. Not a ton of medics being made, but we might be seeing Mick actually go up to the top left and try to get some damage done once he identifies that this base is here. He's really sending a lot too, which I think is more of just like protecting his group more than knowing that this is here, because he hasn't really scouted this. Oh no, it does look like maybe he did drop a scan. Alright, so now he's actually committing against 3 of these Sunkens, 3 more behind, but they're only creep colonies right now. These 3 are going to melt. He's bringing the Mutalisks into place, hitting from a point of this Marine line, kind of minimizing the amount of damage these Mutas are taking. There's 6 remaining. And it looks like Airn's going to be able to defend this. Yeah, he buys just enough time for the Sunkens to show up, and they're just going to start shredding these Marines. The entire army for Newbtier wiped off the board. What does he have back home? He's got 6 barracks. He's rebuilding his Marines. Going up to a 7th barracks. Getting a Radiate. And we're going to have science vessels out on the map. Now, we saw the Queen's Nest. I'm curious to see where we're at on Zerg Tech. We do have the Hive. We have Cracklings on the way. And there's the Ultralisk Cavern. The old elephant tech itself being built. So it looks like once we have the 4th base and we're on 4 gases, that is a scary place to be as Terran versus Zerg when he's going to start pumping out Ultralisks like crazy. Mutas flying around, just keeping an eye on things, picking off stray fire bats. I like this burrowed Zergling. The expected 3rd base location for Terran. Gonna be a little inconvenienced here. Oh, you know what? Newbtier's skipping it. He's going to try to go down here and get the one with the gas. That's what he's prioritizing. But again, he's not going to be able to get anything done. He's got burrowed Zerglings here. The Mutalisks are going to come, knock that SCV out, and Newbtier is going to be still stuck on 2 bases. Now this time, he is going back up towards the top left, bringing some science vessel support, and they're going to have just enough energy here in the event the Mutas come back, which they are slowly doing. We don't see any Scourge out right now, but look at the production tab. We've got Ultralisk morphing. We've got Chitinous plating almost complete. Well, I guess just started. But we have the Greater Spire almost complete. Nice D-matrixes there, but unfortunately now there's no Irradiates to defend themselves against these Mutalisks. Both these science vessels might go down. The first one blows up. Chitinous? 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 Whatever, guys. The things that make Ultras harder to kill. How was that not auto-modded, Escalade? Fingering is, fisting is, but you can say penis. No problem. That's wild. I guess Twitch auto-mod just doesn't like verbs. Alright, so we have a bunker going down here on the high ground. I don't think that's going to impede CC placement. And here comes some science vessels, so we'll finally kill this Zergling. Okay, so we are still at 4 bases for Airn. He has successfully defended 2 pushes up against this top left position. And now we're starting to get the Ultralisk count up. You look at the supply, Zerg is not that far behind. We're primarily on Marines. We're at 2-1. We're just now getting 3-1. And I kind of missed what was being canceled there. Oh, okay. It looks like he's building a physics lab. He might have built a covert ops or whatever it's called. I play Terran. Can't tell you the last time I built one of those, though. Not a whole lot of medics. We refer to this as a sausage party in the business. Guardians, baby. This is going to be dirty. Absolutely dirty. This actually reminds me a lot of a match I just watched last night. I think it was an Artosis cast match that he threw up. It was Effort versus... It was a Chinese Terran. I forget his name. But there was like Guardians and Ultras and the whole tech tree being utilized to take out basically mass Marines. It was a really fun game, actually. Okay, so here comes the first introduction of Ultralists. The Science Vessels are not here. They're out of position and flying alone. We gotta be careful about that. A pesky swarm of Scourge could make quick work of those Science Vessels. Now, the Marines actually did knock out those Ultralists, but now we've got an attack here at the natural, incorporating all these Guardians. There were a lot more. Oh, there they are. Haven't quite made it all the way. 4 of the 9 being committed and being irradiated. Holy cow. Wow, lucky noob. That got auto-mounted. Twitch is also sexist. Okay, so Newbtier trying to move out. He knows he needs to try to get an attack. He's just wiped out a few Ultralisks. So, ideally, Airn's defense is potentially lacking after losing a good amount of forces on the offense. I mean, that was a lot of gas that he just lost in the form of all those Guardians, all those Ultralists, and you can see here up in the resources as well, Airn's a little gas starved. Little gas starved. He's not mining gas here at the moment. We've got an eraser going on. 2 Science Vessels erasering. Nice burrow is going to save a few of them. And Newbtier's doing a good job of getting his bio up here, knocking out these sunken colonies. But here come the reinforcements. The crackling Ultraling mix. We'll see if there's critical mass here. The medics in the front, getting in the way just a little bit. Yeah, doing a great job. This Ultralist was derping out real hard. Newbtier utilizing his D-Matrix to try to keep these Marines alive, but I think at this point, especially with the irradiated Ultras, Airn's going to defend this base again. Now, back for Terran. We do have the 3rd base started. The rest of the Guardians have decided to come and be a pain in the ass at the natural again. But now the Marines are on top of these Guardians. The Guardians kind of moved forward quite a lot. Oh man, but Guardians are so good. Guardians are so good. These flying crabs just annihilate everything. But they are all irradiated. And we have a ton of vessels. We have so many vessels. Just on screen, we've got 10. Okay, let's do that count again. We have 8. Oh, yeah, you're right, lucky noob. Red infested CC territory. And you know what? Airn's the kind of guy that would do that. He would go towards, prioritizing infesting a CC. Okay, Newbtier's still staying in this game. We got a couple Zerglings here, chipping away at this CC. Gosh dang, look at this. Cracklings are insane. This is 2 Zerglings, knocking that CC down to half health in no time. What's like the optimistic measurement for health? You know how like people say the glass is either half empty or half full, depending if you're optimistic or not? Is this CC half alive or half dead? Right now I think it's half dead with all of these Ultralists coming in. Oh no! This natural just cannot catch a break. The Ultralists coming up the ramp. The Science Vessel's out of position again. Airn's had some pretty decent luck, actually, because he hasn't really observed the Science Vessels being out of the way. But the last couple of Ultralist move-outs he's done, the Science Vessels were nowhere to be seen. But they are home now. We've got 9 of them, and he's just irradiating everything. Super Ultralists. SCVs, being the warriors that they are, fighting back against these tusked elephants. And here come the Cracklings to finish the job they started. Look at this, 4 Cracklings. Let's put it on the clock. What, it's been like 2 seconds? Goodness, this looks like the beginning of the end, and GG comes from Newbtier. Great game. That was really fun. All right, so that's going to be the first map win for Airn. And And we're going to go into game number 2. We'll find out what map that is on here in just a second. Okay, I want to read this. Stage, you said, Airn, the kind of guy to chew the cereal first, then baby bird it into the bowl, then pour the milk. You know, I used to consider people that put milk first and then cereal as an indicator that you're a psychopath. But I think you just came up with the true test of if you're a psychopath. All right, next map is going to be Radion. 4-player map. Baby birding cereal into a bowl. I guess it might, like, is there a type of cereal that would make you think that that's okay? Like, does it matter more or less if it's Captain Crunch versus Cheerios? Who knows? All right, McTerran. Making SCVs, our red Terran, representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush in the top right. Airn, our blue Zerg, representing the Bargain Bin Bonjwas, up in the top left. Maybe that's why Airn does it. You can buy whatever cereal's on sale, chew it up, and every day, it doesn't matter what it is, it's the same. Yeah, these are mouthfuls of team names. Bargain Bin Bonjwas. So, like I said, I'm kind of waiting for Airn to do something aggressive. He's not like Anderson levels of doing BBS all the time. But he has been known to play with a trick up his sleeve. Barracks going down here near the ramp again for McTerran. Not seeing a refinery, so likely to see more bio play from our Terran player. And then we have kind of the 12 hatch shindig again. I think the biggest difference this time is we were talking about like the speed of Mutalisks last game. So last game, the Mutalisk didn't come across the map on a cross spawn situation until like 7.5 minutes. I think with this spawning location, the ability for the Mutalisk to get here to the natural is going to be much, much quicker. So if Airn doesn't wait like he did last time, if he goes Mutalisks, my assumption is he will, then he might be able to get a lot of damage early on, before there's 4 turrets at the natural and a whole bunch of Marines. But on the flip side of that, we saw McTerran move out with, what was it? It was like a control group of Marines and 2 medics pretty early on. Wasn't able to get anything done because there was already 3 sunken colonies at the natural. That might be different this time around. We have 2 scouts. The first location didn't have the Zerg, so McTerran sent a second one up here to the top left. And good thing, because now he's going to find the Zerg. And we have Lair starting right as the SCV arrives. Okay, so we do have a second barracks. We have the CC. I want to see if he builds a bunker again down here on the low ground. We got the refinery. Excellent, excellent. Terran buildings, yep. Got a pair of Zerglings chasing around the SCV. Okay, similar game pattern to last time. SCV dies. Dude, Staged, where are you getting these? The kind of guy to chew cereal before he spits it in the bowl, and the kind of guy to write his number on a pebble. Throw it out her window. Some people would consider that romantic. Some people would also consider throwing the pebble with your number at the window romantic. Alright, 2 Zerglings about to run into a bunch of guns. They splat right outside the natural, but they do see that the expansion occurred. It went down. Mick's going to come up here with a second SCV. Now, he might have seen both those creep colonies get thrown down. But he's checking for that Spire timing. And also to just confirm that the Spire is the tech choice that Airn's going to go for. Ooh, okay, Mick moving out. Mick changing his mind. Okay, he definitely sees the 2 Sunkens now. The 2 Zerglings going to chase him away before he sees any type of Spire or Hydroden or anything. And look at this third base. Airn seems to have a trend of throwing third bases in just wazoo positions. I guess last game it was a natural of the main. That's not terribly uncommon. And you even saw Newbtier check the bottom right when in reality it was the top left that Airn chose. So definitely something that Newbtier's aware that Airn may do. But we are seeing this one at the 6 o'clock, and I think that this one's going to go unscouted for a very long time. Okay, we have the Spire being thrown down. We have an eBay. We do have an eBay started somewhere. There it is. We have our Academy. Stim almost complete. Going Fire Bats. 2 medics. Ooh. Here we go. 7 Marines. 2 Fire Bats. 2 medics. 2 Sunkens. Soon to be 4? Airn not screwing around. 5? Oh, E-Chamber. Going up to 3 barracks now. So not a whole lot different from last game, with the exception of Airn taking a different third base to kind of throw off Newbtier. And Newbtier going into Fire Bats a little bit heavier than before. Actually, I take that back. I guess he did make 2 Fire Bats last time. It didn't feel like it was this early, but maybe it was. And he did use them to scout for expansion. So I am really curious if he's going to spot this. I'd be surprised if he did. Okay, so we're at 6:45. Do you know where your Mutalisks are? We've got 2 here. 3. So I don't think he's gonna hit and be able to do as much damage as I thought he might be able to do early on. It's 7 minutes now. No mutas over here. There are 4 turrets at the natural. Firebats didn't see it. Didn't see it. He went to the bottom left and he went over here to the, what is it? 10 o'clock? 11? 10. We'll call that 10. We'll call it the 9. So he's under the impression that Airn is currently just doing 2 base. Oh, but he scanned it! What a wizard! And he's going to run down here with his bio. And here comes the Mutalist to try to defend, I think. We'll see if he tries to push in, get some damage, or if he defends. He's poking in. I think he's seeing that there's no army. This burrowed Zergling, I believe, saw the move out. So Airn trying to get the Marine Medic combo down here to go back home. But they have none of that. They're moving up here, trying to hit these Sunkens. They are on the low ground. And here we go, here we go, here we go. Get that Sunken, Mick. Do it. Do it. Now he's coming up. He's going to knock out this hatchery. We have some Zerglings being morphed here. And here come the Mutas. Are they going to be able to protect this base? Airn able to defend really well last game. Doing a lot with a little. And here come the Zerglings. Now he's going to start committing with the Mutalist. Zerglings tanking a lot of hits here. And there goes all the Marines. Airn is going to be able to keep this third base up with pretty minimal losses. He just lost the 2 Sunkens, a few Zerglings. Buy that for $1. Now, it does look like he tried to do a run-by. Damaged this empty bunker and then ended up dying here at the bottom of the ramp. But here comes more. He knows that he's just weakened the Terran force. He's going to try to make something happen here. Nothing in the bunker still as of yet. A little bit of an oversight, but still plenty of Marines here to keep those Zerglings away. They're going to run right outside and burrow, which is going to give him a great opportunity for run-by again later. So 6 Mutalisks, getting +1 melee, going up to Hive again. You might see Ultralisk come into play again. This is often referred to as Crazy Zerg. Because it's crazy. And we have 2 starports. We have not started science vessel production just yet. Which is a shame because there's a lot of Zerglings right here that would have been spotted. Okay, so Airn not ambushing just yet. Looking for that run-by opportunity. There's still nothing in this bunker. There might be a great chance here. Airn ambushing the reinforcements, reburrowing. Mick trying to go down here to the 6 o'clock position. Just a few creep colonies. I say few. A whole bunch of creep colonies. This is his chance. Here comes Mick. He's going to come in. Oh, but one of them finishes. He's got to target this one down. Then this one. Okay, he's on top of which one to target. Here comes the third. Oh, he's knocking out these Sunkens as soon as they pop up. Airn might actually lose this base this time. Most of the Marines on the high ground, already doing damage to the hatchery. Coming in, gonna pick off an Overlord as well. What do we have as reinforcements? We've got 6 Mutalisks, a handful of Zerglings. This is going very well for Newbtier. He's knocked out the 3rd. And now he's nice and bunched up, gonna be able to defend against these Mutas. 3 of them already being shot out of the sky, 2 left, both battered and beaten. But where are we for Zerg? Where are we? How are we doing for our tech? We don't have an Ultralisk Cavern just yet. But there it is. So let's see what Mick can do. I think right now, taking out that 3rd base was huge. That was absolutely huge. That's what Mick spent the entirety of last game trying to do and was unable to accomplish. 3rd base now going a little bit closer to home for Airn. Now there are still drones down here burrowed, I want to point out. Ready to pop up and rebuild their hatchery at a moment's notice. SCV left behind. Wonder if that was intentional. Because it might just spot a hatchery being rebuilt. It would be kind of a 200 IQ move. Look at all these buildings. All right, so we're doing Greater Spire again. We're getting a couple more hatcheries. Now, this just got scanned. So, Newbtier all over it. Seeing this, he has his SCV here for vision. He's got his fire bats on the map. He's aware of this now. And here comes the Eraser. There's nothing that can shoot up. There's no Scourge. This is going to force a lot of lost mining time. Maybe be able to pick off a couple drones here at the gas, which Airn is trying to bank up. Bringing the drones out, back out to mine. Knocks out the hatchery at the 12. Mick looking very strong right now. Look at all these burrowed Zerglings. Now, those are spotted by the science vessels. Here comes some Scourge. Now we got Ultras on the field. The game just changed. But is there going to be enough? Now, both these science vessels did just cast their irradiates on each other for the Eraser, so they don't have one available again just yet. Oh my gosh, and the Scourge sneak in and knock one out. Is he going to get the second one? Almost. Almost. Holy crap, where'd these come from? Okay, so we have five science vessels. A whole sausage party of 2-1 Marines. And we are at double the supply of our Zerg player. Looking good for Newbtier. Ooh, almost catching a Scourge there. Alright, here we go. Here we go. See if the Zerglings start popping up. They do. Here they're getting committed with the Ultralisk, but there's just too many Marines. Now they are being funneled all together. The Sunkens are starting to freaking poke them from the ground. I think Mick's got it. I think Airn's dead. That's my Gamba. Sunken's starting to melt. Scourge not being able to connect quite with everything. Ultra count just not heavy enough. And you know, really what it came down to was being able to knock out that third base. That was huge. All the Sunkens are now gone. We've got boatloads of Marines here, and yeah, Airn's gonna have to tap out. So far, this has been a really entertaining series. Cool. Let's get Newbtier on the board, and this next match is going to decide who gets to take home the first series win. Is it going to be Bargain Bin Bonjwas or the Zero Effort Zealot Rush? ZEZR has been having it rough. Okay, next map is Polestar. Okay. Here we go. Our Red Terran representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush. Able to knock out the third base last game and get a W with his bio play. Newbtier. Up here in the top left, we've got our blue Zerg representing the Bargain Bin Bonjwas, who appears to be four-pooling. Here we go. You like those nice long macro games we just had? Well, get bent, because we're about to four-pool. I told you, this is a thing you have to be ready for with Airn. So, is Mick going to be ready for it? Or is he going to get smoked? And right now, all the stars are aligning for Airn. The Overlord is heading to the correct base location. Now, I don't know. I think the Overlord gets there before the Zerglings are out, right? Let's see. How far along is the spawning pool? It's about halfway. Overlord not quite halfway. So maybe not. Maybe he will need to send a secondary scout with a drone, or just yeet his Zerglings in the expected location. Eating. It's what we're all here for. All right, so we have our 6 Zerglings morphing, about to pop out. We have the drone scouting cross map, but here comes the SCV. Is the Overlord gonna be able to see it? Oh, it's not. It's not. It's gonna get here. It's not gonna see the natural yet. Or I mean, there's nothing at the natural to see. And so these Zerglings, he might lose a lot of time sending them to the incorrect location. He's gonna miss the SCV with those as well. So Mick's gonna get up here, and he's gonna get a first scout, and he's gonna get the realization that he's being four-pooled, while these Zerglings are as out of position as they possibly could be. Now, these two are heading to the correct location. The Overlord just now knows. Okay, time to redirect. So a little bit of a bummer for Airn, and that is going to give Newbtier the opportunity to get his SCVs here and try to block the ramp. Still no Marine just as of yet. If those Zerglings had gone to the right spot, this would already be game over. But right now, we'll have to see how this defense holds up for Newbtier. Here comes a drone. Oh, he's trying to eat the minerals. Brilliant move. Unfortunately, needed a second one. That's actually kind of weird. I thought that interaction went differently. I thought that the worker just, like, mined it away. But he's going to try to push anyway. Here comes the Zerglings. Can they break through these SCVs? They're repairing each other. We got 3 in. But we have 3 Marines and a 4th on the way. Should be fine. Airn going to try to keep this pressure up. Oh my god! We have a 2-kill SCV. We are down to 2 drones, 1 extremely long-distance mining from a ramp. I think Airn's 4-pool failed. I think that's GG. Newbtier finishes up the ramp for him. What does that do to the drone? Oh, it just stops. It's an interesting interaction. Oh my gosh. How's this SCV doing? Chilling with its 2 kills. Newbtier has to know that he's good to go. And there's the GG. Newbtier and the Zero Effort Zealot Rush are going to secure this series with a 2-1 win. That was rad. That was a lot of fun. Alright, so that brings us to our next game, which is going to be Newbtier. Newbtier, who plays Terran, up against... Oh, I didn't update the freaking score sheet last time. Suck at this. Airn v666, who is Protoss. I believe we'll be on Knockout, so I'll just prep that. Well, subscribe with a Prime subscription, Dazzle. Also, it was 5 minutes of ads. It's definitely not the intent. Okay. So next up, we've got Newbtier versus Airn 666. We are going to be on Knockout. We got a TVP. Let's get into it. Yeah, you didn't miss a whole lot anyway. If you did miss it, Airn tried to 4-pool. His lings went to the wrong base. That was that. Mick defended it and got some drone kills with his scouting SCV, which was fun. Alrighty. Down here in the bottom left, we've got Newbtier, our blue Terran, representing the bargain bin Bonjwas. And down here in the bottom right, we have our red Protoss representing the zero effort Zealot Rush, who is currently up 1-0 after Mick and Airn duked it out. And I hope all these series are that fun, because that was a really fun series. And I'm still waiting to be interrupted at any moment. Still not convinced I'm not going to be interrupted by something. So, keeping an eye out for that. Supply depot going down. Oh, there's the pylon. For a second there, I was like, we building anything? Yeah, both players chilling. Just chilling. Any good New Year's resolutions out there? Got a barracks going down. Gateway being warped in. It does look like Airn v666 is going to be getting a first scout off. Very fortunate for him. Okay, here comes the scout for Mick. Not Mick, I'm sorry, Newbtier. And he's going to get distracted by this probe a little bit. So, he's going to delay his scouting, but he's not having to pull a second SCV off the mineral line. That's kind of an interesting trade-off. And now he's firmly defending against Zealots. Going to get the supply depot here for the nice little Zealot SimCity. I should say anti-Zealot SimCity, but we're not going to be going into Zealots. Looks like Airn is going into Dragoons, likely to get Dragoon range. We have our factory. We've pulled off gas. Looks like Newbtier will be expanding here very shortly. And here comes the probe to double check on things. But we have a Marine here now. We have the SCV blocking the ramp as best as it can. It's going to get shoot away. It's going to hang out right outside the natural. Probably come back in here in about a minute. Okay, so we do have Dragoon range being researched. Our first Dragoon almost complete. And it looks like Airn, not sure what Airn's doing. Okay, building a pylon out here at the front. Okay, SCV does slip by the probe. Time for Newbtier to start getting some scouting information. Gonna try to shoo away this probe with these two Marines. And it was very effective. The probe is running away. And we're back on gas. Because we're at the point where we have the minerals to come out here and expand at 24 supply. And now the scout has reached the Protoss base. So Airn doing a really good job of body blocking. Holy cow. Got to sign this guy up as an offensive lineman. Completely blocked that SCV. Got a couple shots off. and then throwing down the expansion. So the SCV did see that there was no expansion. So there might be a world where this SCV starts going all over the place, worrying about a proxy or at least checking for it. Looks like he's going to try to go back in. Maybe. Maybe not. Getting a bunker, 3 Marines and a Vulture. Feeling nice and safe. We do have mines being researched. No additional vehicles at the moment. It looks like he might be saving up for a tank. There it is. Yeah, he did need to build this engineering bay. Likely going to throw a turret down here. Keep an eye out for any type of DTs. I don't think that SCV went back in. Kind of hanging out. He has a Vulture, checking some proxy locations. Not seeing any proxy DT tech or anything along those lines, so might try to sneak in with this Vulture. See if the Dragoons are still hanging out at home. But he's continuing to look. He's keeping an eye out. Might keep this Vulture here. I don't know. Okay, he's going to plant a mine. Protoss sitting at 4 Dragoons, 2 gates, and getting a robo facility. Speaking of robo facilities, I was just watching Rush this morning a little bit, and he was playing Mini, just like back to back to back to back to back, and ugh, Reavers are so good. I feel like with proper Reaver micro, you can just dismantle an entire Terran, no matter what. Okay, so the Dragoons are here. They're going to clear this mine with their face. Nice mine hit. But that is going to open up the expansion for Protoss if they decide to go up along the right-hand side. We are approaching the time. Yep, there it is. Where Protoss wants to get that third up. Now, this mine not going to be able to spot it. The Vulture maybe going to head back over there. But the elimination of this mine and the presence of this one kind of gives Terran the heads up that this is where the third's going to be. So we'll see what Newbtier does about that. Airn playing very conservatively, really staying home on the defense. This is allowing Newbtier to get these tanks up without much issue, getting a second factory. And we're getting an academy. Okay, second machine shop. We'll see if he just continues with full-on... he might do like a 3-tank push. So pop out this tank and then get Vultures pumping from both of these. Or he might get some safety Goliaths. We'll have to see which route he goes. So there's the tank. Observer out on the field. Third base up. So pretty standard game so far. Starting upgrades for Terran. Gonna probably see a factory explosion coming up here soon. There's a third. See if he goes to 5 or if he pushes it up to 6. Oh no, I thought it was going to be a big like SCV transfer, but he did what every Terran does all the time, which was accidentally lifted the CC when trying to build the ComSat station. Definitely in the top 10 list of just damn it moments for Terran. Okay, so there's the additional 2 factories. We are going up to 5. Currently worker count looking pretty good for both players. The Observer's going to be trying to sneak in here, but there is a turret here and one here. He could get on top of these factories, though, I think, if it didn't explode. So Observer is gone. We've got a lot of Dragoons, though, here from our Protoss player. He is exploding his gateways, going up to 6, and does look like he's transitioning into his Zealot production. And we're getting Templar Archives and a Stargate. So it looks like he may be interested in doing some Arbiter recalls. Or maybe Stasis, but I think Arbiter at least is going to be the play. We'll see if he just goes into Storm, but the Stargate hints at me that he's looking to maybe get some Arbiter play in. So getting a couple Goliaths. Starting to expand out a little bit from the natural. Looks like our Terran player might be trying to take this third. An SCV is already placed. And Airn is being very patient. He's got this ball of Dragoons, but he's not pushing in. He's not trying to deny the third base. Just hanging out. Keeping eyes on the avenues of approach that Terran may take towards his base. Alright, Newbtier has a good amount of money, has a nice deep siege line. The deepest, so deep. Very deep. Just inching out. Getting a turret. Still no third though. And when he does get a third, gotta keep in mind this is a mineral only. Okay, so it does look like we're getting the Arbiter Tribunal. And we are getting Storm. We're getting +1 melee upgrades. Oh no, it's deep stage. It's super deep. Okay. Now we're starting to get a third. Not an uncommon trigger for Protoss to decide to get off their butt and start poking things with their Zealots. Now, we are getting a fourth base for Protoss. So he may just hang back and try to maintain this contain while he's getting his next base up. Needs to be a little bit careful about these Dragoons. They're about to eat a bunch of mines. Oh, here comes one. Boom. I guess it wasn't that dramatic, but he did get hit by a mine. So, nice mine. Staged. Oh, dear. Okay, we've got Storm, we've got High Templars, we're getting Stasis, getting Arbiters, getting a fourth base. Protoss looking happy. Ooh, picking off some of these tanks here. Definitely helpful. Nice little Storm, gonna be able to clear out the Vultures a bit. Oh, it was a two-flank attack. I was like, where the heck did these Zealots come from? So not bad. Just a nice little skirmish. Now, the third base has been completed. Looks like Newbtier is going to be reinforcing it with additional tanks after losing those first couple. Vulture is going to keep an eye out here, probably plant some mines, keep these Dragoons at arm's reach. And it looks like Airn's going to try to consolidate his forces here, just north of that third base. Trying to maintain control of the center of the map. Okay, few Dragoons going down. But overall, not too bad. And then we've got 3 High Templar here, just looking for something to storm. Oh, there's the Observer. I was like, how is he seeing this? All right, that super deep siege line moving forward. All right, we're starting to get Dragoons, Zealots coming into the mix. Charging forward, getting on top of these tanks. The opportunities for storms are there. There's a good one. Doing a bunch of damage, but a lot of goons have gone down. But Airn right now, up 40 supply roughly. Feeling pretty good. A lot of Zealots. Not a whole lot of Vultures at the moment. We're still on 5 factories, going up to 6. As far as gateways, as everything the light touches is gateways. We've got what, 12, 13 gateways here. And an Arbiter popping out. Now, I thought I saw an Arbiter. There he is. All right, now everything's invisible. Get in there, Zealots. Charging forward. The mines have already been cleared. Arbiter going to be making this a nightmare for these tanks to target. Vultures are able to pick off some of these Zealots. Nothing that shoots up, though. The Arbiter is going to be able to kind of roam freely. And that was a really solid defense. So like earlier we were just talking, Airn is up 40 supply. Well, now he's only up like 15. Looks like Newbtier might be thinking about taking a 4th. Ooh, there it goes, but there's an observer parked right there watching it all happen. And something to note, stasis is researched. I just don't think the Arbiter had the energy. But the next time he comes in, if he's able to stasis a bunch of tanks like in the back and run in with his large Zealot count, well, I guess his Zealot count has been thinned out. That could be a pretty dang good engagement for Protoss. And he's taking a 5th. So buckle up, Buttercup. This game's got a minute to go. Coffee. I don't know what I think about Coconut Creamer. Ooh, nice siege tank hits. Alright, now is the stasis going to get dropped? Okay, we get 2 tanks out of the fight with the stasis. The Arbiter does go down, though. So, not the most... Not the prettiest engagement for Protoss. I think Terran definitely came out ahead there. Also, I think these Vultures are still slow. Oh yeah, we do have speed being researched, as well as Goliath range. Ooh, dirty Storm. Chewing up a bunch of these Vultures before the High Templar gets sniped. And we're just keeping Arbiter production going. Arbiter production not stopping. Vultures are going to be able to come up here though. But there is a small contingent, Dragoons, Zealots. These Vultures so banged up from the Storm earlier. Not going to be able to really survive. It's off the 1 probe, so that feels good. But he's still unaware that this exists. I'm pretty sure. I don't think he's scanned it. Let's see. No, he hasn't. Okay, so the 4th base is up now for our Terran player. So really sitting pretty here for Newbtier. That supply delta has closed all the way to within just a handful of supply. 4 supply difference at the moment. Getting more gateways. I think this brings our count to, holy cow, what, 8, 12, 13, 17 gateways? Call this Gateway Man. But look at all this blue. Here comes the Terran, I don't know, force. I have a way with words. Alright, here they come. Ooh, that was a dirty stasis. That might have actually been 2. Science Vessel coming in a little bit too late to get any EMPs off. Storm's going to be knocking out a lot of Vultures here. The Vultures, they're expendable. But this tank count being preserved is really the thing to keep an eye on. Okay, we've got 2 Arbiters here. They're both out of energy, so this was 2 stasis fields, I think. Or stasises. Stasi? Stacy's. Stacy's mom. These Arbiters have it going on, is what I'm trying to say. Alright, the Vultures getting pushed back. Almost dying to their own mine. And here comes another push. This isn't going to be enough. There are way too many tanks here. But these mines are a little bit dangerous. So if these Zealots can get up, nice D-Matrix. Big Storm. But overall, Terran is holding the middle of the map. So that's going to allow him to get this 4th base up and running. His main's almost mined out. He's sitting at 7 factories right now, just churning Vultures out. He's got that all mineral base, right? So like if you look at his resources, 2K minerals. He's got like half a bag of gas. Oh, he didn't even have the EMP. All right, so EMP is being researched now. Goodness, now it's just straight up macro game. And honestly, I think a recall would be really good here. A recall straight onto this production would be so annoying. Oh, but instead of a recall, we're just walking. Taking the Nike Shoe Express here. We got Mr. G Houses and the Dragoons coming up here into the 3rd base. little bit of a reaction here from our Terran, but what I like is that it's not an overreaction. He's sending just enough to shoo this force away, but he's not giving up ground here. Now, big engagement. Protoss is pushing. Going to try to get an EMP. Ooh, does get that Arbiter. So no stasis for him, but the storms are still coming down. But with the scans, the Vulture's showing up. Wow, that's a lot of storms. Able to clean up this force with just a couple Arbiters remaining. So overall, again, I think a pretty good engagement for Terran, but Terran is starting to bleed a lot of supply. We are now up to 8 factories. And I think one of the big things that's coming into play here is the remax potential for our Protoss player. Airn is doing a really good job of keeping his supply up. He's got a rockin' economy, sitting at 71 probes across 4 mining bases. And with his gateway count, he's able to take a lot of these inefficient trades, and it's okay. Okay, Terran's starting to reconstitute their force. Bunch of tanks sitting here in the middle of these mines is a little scary. Oh my gosh, that stasis was enormous. Too bad there's nothing to follow it up. That was huge. Loses an Arbiter. Okay, 5th base going up for our Terran player. Right now, Terran is only mining at this 4th base. It does look like the 3rd has been knocked out. Earlier when I said that Terran sent back just enough to defend, I guess I was wrong. I totally missed that that thing got knocked out when I was watching the engagement up here. 5th base gets knocked out by a small contingent of Protoss dudes. And I'm starting to worry for Newbtier's economy, because he's trading very heavily, but we were just talking that Airn has that remax potential and has been very on top of just ensuring that his supply remains as high as possible. Like, we have 6, I forget what the number was here, it was like 13, yeah, 8, 5. So we're at 19 gateways, just pumping non-stop. Feels good for Protoss. Now let's go ahead and look at upgrades. We haven't done that pretty much all game. So we're at 2-0 melee, we're at 2-0 ranged. For Terran, we're at 1-1. 2-1 about to finish, or I'm sorry, well, +2 attack about to finish, +2 defense on the way. And now Terran's trying to fight over getting a 5th. And so this is a point that becomes a little annoying and scary for Terran. As the game goes on longer and longer, Terran's forced to spread out more and more, because Terran's production's always in their main base. Very rarely are you able to have like really solid secondary production, kind of like how Protoss does up here. And so if he takes this base, which it looks like he might need to send another wave, he's going to have to defend this entire left side, which is tough for the lack of mobility that Terran has. So we'll see how he handles it, what he does, how this goes. Getting some Archons here for our Protoss. Double expand as well. Airn not about to get skimped on his mineral collection. And we have the mineral base back up for our Terran. Stage, did you just profile yourself? Yeah. Oh my gosh, look at the red coming in from 3 sides here while the 3rd base is being hit. Airn really going for the jugular here. And it's working. It is working. Doing a ton of damage to this Terran force in the middle, effectively resetting the tank count. Newbtier just went below 100 supply. And this is all with Newbtier unable to take those bases up in the top left, so the economy is only getting worse and worse for him. Trying to salvage the position that he has here in the middle, and having to come back and knock out the aggressors here in the 3rd base. Down to 38 SCVs. Look at this. Meanwhile, Airn is at 177. It's looking rough for our Terran compadre. Now, the upgrades are coming in. About to hit 2-2, but it's just a little too late. GG. Whew. EBT, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it goes. So, Airn V666 is going to take that one for the 0 effort Zealot Rush, and we're going to go into game 2. How are we not even halfway done with this? What did I sign up for? Okay, next map's going to be Radion. Look at that. Man, I'm getting so good at this score sheet thing. Still suck at changing scenes, though. Let's go let you guys see the game. And here we are. Newbtier representing the Bargain Bin Bonjwas up here in the top right on Radion. That's our blue Terran. Up here in our top left, our red Protoss, Airn V666. The first 665 versions have all been upgraded. And we're now at version 666. And it shows. Playing a very gateway-intensive game last game. Unfortunately, didn't see a single Reaver drop. Which is really the main reason people watch Protoss. 99% sure that that's the case. And we're powering up. Powering up, baby. Got a pylon. Got a supply depot. Playing in top versus bottom mode. All is right in the world. Yeah, the macro last game from Airn was pretty bonkers. He did really well just maintaining such a high supply. And he was staying on top of his upgrades pretty well too. We didn't see any armor, but like the offense upgrades were good. If he was checking Newbtier's upgrades, he knew that like he wasn't at any huge risk of being out upgraded for the majority of that game. But yeah, really just taking over the whole map and just overwhelming. It's a bold strategy, but it worked. Alright, Probe's gonna come up here. We see Newbtier doing the same thing he did last game. Chasing it with his scouting SCV. Ooh, is he going to get a kill? Get him. Get that probe. No, it's impossible. Probes are too slippery. Pretty sure probes can't die. We have a cybernetics core going down. Gateway already constructed. Looks like same build order for both players at the moment. Right now it's a little too early to tell for Terran. We'll see if he expands or goes like a 2-fact. First factory going down. Pylon at the front again. Cybernetics core completed. We'll see if that Dragoon range gets started up here real soon. And yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing factory expand. There's the range. And the goon. All is right in the world. Now, Terran still hasn't scouted the top left, still unaware of where the Protoss is. Doesn't have full confirmation at the moment. Satisfied with just kind of chasing this probe around. Hoping it'll lead him home. But also just going to end up transitioning into an end scout. So he is going to be heading over to Airn's base. Likely get repelled by this Dragoon. We'll see if he can actually make it up into the main. Last time, the Dragoon stayed on the ramp and blocked the SCV. Looks like this time the Dragoon is prioritizing pressure. No bunker as of yet either, but we do have 3 Marines. But we'll see what the probe and the Dragoon can do damage-wise. This is going to become a micro battle. Here we go. Oh, well, now the Vulture's here. Running down the Dragoon. 1 Marine does die. The probe goes down, and the Dragoon runs away. Now, the SCV did make it into the main base and saw everything this time. So last game, I think there was a little bit of a reaction due to ambiguity associated with worrying about potential DT drops. Not having been in the Protoss's main was forcing Newbtier to play a little bit of a certain way. I think the eBay went down pretty early last game as well as a result of that. So now that he's been in, he sees what he's up against, just kind of like a standard early game Dragoon play. I think that he's going to feel more comfortable with his build and just follow the straight up order. We are going into tank. We have an expansion going down for both players. The Goons they have their range, but struggling to hit this bunker. Fun fact, bunkers shoot farther down. As you can see down on the screen, the bunker actually shoots just a little bit farther. So a little bit trickier for these Dragoons to get in range without dying. Now this guy only looks like 2 shots away from death. Unfortunately, tank hitting the other one, but is enough to shoo them away as the tank comes down to the bottom of the ramp. Cool. So the Dragoon bunker dance is over. And we're going into Robo Facility and second gateway. So now we can all pray and hope and wish that Iron's New Year's resolution was to Reaver drop every other game. And maybe we'll get to see one of those. Last game he opened up with Observer though. Trying to get visibility, keep an eye on mines, all that boring stuff. Engineering Bay going down now. Wouldn't consider this early. I think in the 5-fact build, this is pretty standard. Slap this down, get a safety turret, get a couple, get your armory somewhere. Yeah, there it is. And then get a couple of, what do you call them? The Goliaths, yeah. Get like 4 Goliaths up. Okay, so we are going into OBS. There's the safety turret. Excellent, excellent. And normally you'd be also getting siege. But we're doing a couple turrets. So really not wanting to get dropped to death. Third base is going down right around the 6:30 mark, so right on time for Iron. And we're probably, I mean, Iron has definitely proven that he is not afraid to just expand all over the map. So we'll see how fast he tries to do so this game. Still no siege mode. But we do have +1 weapons on the way. Okay, Vulture checking if Dragoons are still there. Indeed they are. We have a second refinery up. Really starting to get that gas mining. Got to get that oil. For gateways, we're going to be seeing our first observer pop out, second observer. Cool, we're just chilling, y'all. We are just chilling. Now these turrets are going to do a pretty good job of keeping the observers out of the pertinent areas of the base. There's going to be a place where this observer can kind of chill here at the top of the ramp. Now, the observer flying in seems to have really spooked Newbtier. He's following it around with his tanks. Again, potentially concerned about a drop. And we're going to be throwing down our 3 factories, going up to 5, I think, here. And you know this SCV just said, oh, I can't build it, there's something in the way. And then he'll realize it really, you know, like a minute down the line. And he'll yell, damn it, it didn't build. Terran problems. Alright, going up to 6 gateways. Nice little pylon wall here from Iron. Should help with any type of vulture run-bys. Don't think they can squeeze past that. Ooh, nice little ambush on these Dragoons. able to pick off one of them. And this is a very tank-heavy force. Again, okay, so last game, we saw him kind of do this. He skirted out, he leapfrogged his tanks, he worked towards getting that third as a priority. And this is pretty good timing for it. Getting that third base, trying to construct it around the 930, 945, not uncommon. It looks like he identified that this SCV didn't make getting that fifth factory down. And the observer's parked over here at the third base location to keep an eye on it. And you can see that Protoss is staging to attack once he identifies that it is either gone down or it's been started. So I'd expect to see Protoss react pretty heavily once the SCV heads over there. So what might be a good idea is to get the vulture count up a little bit, line up, and actually move out his Terran when he decides he wants to expand, and expand behind an attack. I think. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, back at the Protoss base, let's go ahead and check on bases. We have Templar Archives, a whole bunch of pylons being thrown down. Oh, it does look like Airn was supply blocked. And coming up here soon, probably in less than a minute, we're probably going to see Airn expand again. Because that's how he do. Now you'll notice he didn't go Stargate this time. He's got 8 gateways. And he's really just going to emphasize, I think, his Storm. Get a bunch of those High Templars out. Okay, so the Observer's seeing the third base starting to get constructed. Newbtier is doing a good job of trying to wall it off before he slaps down his CC. The turret's going to shoo that Observer away, maybe even kill it. And we'll see if Protoss decides to take this moment to attack. We do have Storm being researched. We do actually have a Stargate going down, so looks like we might be seeing Arbiter play again. But I think the order of everything was a little bit different than last time. And there's the fourth base. Right at about a minute later. Look at that. Goodness. When you just saw it happen, you can predict it pretty easily. All 5 factories, going up to Starport and Science Facility. What are we doing on upgrades? We're at +1 for Terran. No upgrades as of yet for Protoss. +1 melee on the way. And there's the third base for Terran. Congratulations. Getting a third base against Protoss is such a fight. I should just say in general. Getting a third base in general is just such a freaking brutal thing to do for Terran. And then don't even get me started on fourth base. Feels like a pipe dream. Alright, Vulture's going to get out on the map, start poking around. Now, Newbtier has been scanning, so he's not completely blind. I guess he hasn't been scanning anywhere that there's bases, though. So, the Vulture's going to come down here to the main, see if the main's been taken. I imagine they're going to start kind of hopping along the left-hand side after he places some mines, maybe. And so he'll identify where these additional bases are, and we'll see if he tries to make a move for those. Now, the problem here for Terran is that he hasn't really had much of an opportunity to drain the Protoss of many units. Like, they really haven't been engaging a whole lot. But it does look like Newbtier is starting to advance out towards the center of the map just a little bit. Just poking the, just like putting the tip of his army out here. It looks like he's going to start engaging with the Protoss here just a little bit. Doodad's kind of helping out a little bit with messing up the Zealots' pathing. Nice, going to get some free shots here. I guess he lost his vision. Oh no, the Vultures didn't get to spot the other bases. But this is going to be a 5th base. 5th base for Protoss. Okay, so 5 bases to the 3 of Terran. A big difference from last game as well, I want to point out, is that the third base for Terran on this map has gas. Last game, we saw our Terran player being a little gas-starved. But I think the tank count is going to be a lot healthier this time around. And we do have Arbiters almost on the field. We have a few High Templar here with Storms available. This looks very stormable, by the way. Not going to wait for the Arbiters to advance. Going to trade with some supply here. Tons of Zealots. Big Storms going down. I want to see a Storm right there. Storm right there. Oh, 3 of them. Oh, 4 Storms. Oh my gosh. 4 Storms and 7 years ago, the Terran army was annihilated. Dude, Storm is stupid. Ugh, look at that. Ugh. Disgusting. Protoss just wants one thing, and it's disgusting. Okay, the Vultures coming out, though, are going to pick off all those High Templar, and really, both the armies clashed and just killed each other. Now, this is going to come down to Airn's macro again. So, we're at 8, 12 gateways, 13, 14 gateways in the main. I feel like in the lower tiers, gateway production is like a problem. Oh, nice. Mines. Ooh. Ooh. Spicy. Not a problem for Airn. To imagine, and I think I'm right, I think it was Airn when I told the story about him being in T4 until like he brought it up and was like, guys, come on, look at me, I'm awesome. But I couldn't imagine him playing in T4. He's insane. Ooh, another really sweet mine there. Science vessels coming out in a timely manner. Now, last game, EMP was a little behind. Yeah, you think my Abraham Lincoln voice sounds like Day 9? Well, at least his impression. Dude, Day 9's impressions of Artosis's text-to-speech is hilarious. I just love that trio of Artosis, Tasteless, and Day 9. Like, I just grew up on them. Grew up on them. Formative memories of watching Day 9 in his college dorm, doing the Day 9 dailies when I was in, like, high school. Very, very cool. Alright. A lot more Zealots coming out. Okay, that was actually a really good D-Matrix. Like, this thing is soaking up so many Zealot shots. But unfortunately, we just don't have the Vultures, I think, to deal with this. Good job on Newbtier keeping some of these siege tanks unsieged to help with these Zealots. But overall, I think this engagement, this push from Terran is going to end in Protoss's favor. Now, we do have the energy for an EMP. Now, as this next wave shows up, if we can EMP this whole blob right there, we will be sitting pretty for the Terrans. I love this doodad, by the way. Putting a siege tank behind this doodad feels like a cheat code. Oh no! Fire off an EMP. Oh, you know what? I'm still not convinced he has EMP. He may not. Alright, so now we're seeing a little bit of the same from last game. Now we are up to 8 factories. Only 2 machine shops, by the way. But we're seeing the Gateway army from Airn just being an endless swarm of Protoss. He's able to get a lot more stasises off. Stacy's mom. Getting Stacy's mom off. And just having really effective engagements. Up 50 supply. Goodness, what is this? 16? 8 plus 6, 14 plus 7. Or plus 3 is whatever. 17. A lot of gateways. But good on him. I've heard the rule of thumb is like 2 gateways for every factory, so he's staying on pace with that. Really nice storm placement there. Get him. Alright. Vulture killed that High Templar. Very cool. But it just never stops. It never stops. Right now for Terran, we're mined out in the main, mined out in the natural. We have 1 mining base. And this is a feeling I think Terran runs into, or at least I know I run into when I play against Protoss all the time. Of just being stuck. Stuck in my little corner and unable to expand. stream of red units coming across. Seeing some of that zero effort Zealot Rush bonkers macro coming into play. Slowly pushing in the natural. We're at 178 to 90 supply and GG. Airn takes game number 2. Great game by both players. Love to see it. I love a good TVP. All right, very cool. So that's going to give Airn the second map win. And right now, Zero Effort Zealot Rush is up 2-0 against the Bargain Bin Bonjwas. Let us mix up the matchup just one more time and see Discovery face off against Ruhzo in a TVP. Z. TV. What? Z. Right. If I can find the game. Discovery versus Ruhzo. Yeah. And we're going to be on Knockout. So, we got Discovery versus Ruhzo. Cool. Let's do it. Alrighty, so you'll notice in the top right, Discovery is CSK Alias. Probably going to still just call him Discovery. But anyway, up here in the top right on Knockout is our blue Zerg representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush. This is Ruhzo. And then down here in the bottom right, representing the Bargain Bin Bonjwas, is our red Terran, Discovery. Which I think is the name of one of the Star Trek series. Never watched it. I think I watched all of Next Generation, the original, of course. Watched a good amount of Star Trek Voyager, but I don't know if I ever watched Star Trek Discovery. Alright, Zerg player is looking like he's going to get an Overlord here. Not sure if he's going to be going into Overpool. Potentially a hatchery first, kind of like 12 hatch build. I'm not seeing an extractor trick or anything. We would have already had the sunken. So it looks like we're probably going to either be doing 12 pool or 12 hatch. Good old time. Oh, you never watched the OG? You should, man. Captain Kirk. He's like James Bond in space. Alright, drone's going to be going up here to the top left. The Overlord is going to spot the buildings down here in the bottom right. It does look like Discovery trying to wall off. It does look like he's also going to be going a little bit of a bio play. Would normally have a refinery by now if we were going to be expecting mech. And the SCV is going to be coming up here, getting a first scout off. Going to see the hatchery at the natural. Going to come up into the main, identify the spawning pool, and also notice that there's no extractor. Curious. Well, at least I thought he was going to go into the main. This SCV going to single-handedly kill this hatchery. Never mind. Now he's going up into the main. Nice little wall off. Beautiful. Both players getting ready for a dope-ass Starcraft match. Okay, SCV going to be able to hang out in here, really get a timing and understanding of how many Zerglings Zerg is going to make, and also keep an eye on this gas, which is just now starting. Expansion going down for Terran. Gas likely to start here soon, maybe. I don't know. I don't know where this SCV is going. Oh, he's building a second barracks. That makes sense. Ooh, third hatchery. Okay. 4 Zerglings. Was the 6 on the way? No. Overlord. So this almost looks like the beginning of potential, like, I don't know, like 5 hatch Hydra play. We'll see if he goes into layer. But I'm not entirely sold on it this time. I feel like if you're going to do that, you would have more aggressively pursued your gas. I want to stay here until just over 100. Okay, still not seeing... Oh, okay, there is the lair. Alright, so it looks like we're starting off with like a 3-hatch Muta. It's going to hit a little bit later, but maybe a little bit harder. Got 4 Zerglings hanging out outside the natural. Maintaining an SCV hole plug right here. And getting our academy up. Beautiful. Everything is looking good. Running very heavily. SCV is going to be able to sneak out. Trying to get a confirmation on the tech. Not quite at the point of moving out yet for Terran. Once this academy is complete. Okay, so academy is complete. We're seeing our 2 medics. And if he moves out with all these Marines and the 2 medics, might be able to get some damage done. Now, the first sunken colony is being placed here at the natural. If he places a second one, likely not going to see that move out, get a whole lot done. This SCV doing work. Look at this. Got like a third of the health of the creep colony down. The drone is going to finally come over to help out and finally shoot the SCV away. But this isn't insignificant, right? If it's the only, well, I guess it's not going to be the only sunken now, but it is a sunken that is going to be significantly more damaging. Significantly. Because if you just saw there, right, creep colonies have more health than sunkens. So when it just morphed into a sunken, it just lost an additional 100 health. And so this thing's at half. I'm actually kind of shocked at how impactful that SCV chipping away on it was. Alright, Terran is moving out. Looks like the Zergling's going to try to get back here and kill that medic, but not quite finding success. Terran Bioforce is going to be approaching now. We'll see if a third sunken gets started. Creep Colony has started. I don't know. If I was him, yeah, let's do it. Let's kill this guy. Oh my gosh, he gets that first sunken. Gonna kill these Zerglings real quick. And he should be able to knock out both of these additional ones. Oh, he's gonna go straight for the workers. Charging in there. More Zerglings popping. The drone's coming in to fight. The medic's doing the damnedest to keep these Marines alive. Now the sunken's gonna finally finish up, and this is gonna put an end to the attack. But overall, if nothing else, that probably felt really good for Terran. Going in there, knocking out those sunkens, getting a couple drones as well. Feels juicy. Alright, we're at 3 barracks. We do have our missile turrets coming up, which is very important because we have 9 Mutalisks morphing. And this is what I was talking about when I was saying the 3-hatch Muta. It may come a little bit later, but it's going to pack a little bit more of a punch. We are at later right now, but we have 9. Instead of 5, right? Or instead of 6. This is a lot of firepower. Now let's see how he uses it. Looks like he's flying clear across the map. He's going to come down through the middle. Looks like he's trying to prevent these from being spotted or accidentally flying over a bio blob of some sort. And he's going to try to find some weak points up here in the main. Now there's only 2 turrets up here. The bio is all hanging out down here at the natural. Oh no, if he moves out right now, which he's doing, these Mutas might actually find a ton of damage. Coming in, taking a lot of extra hits, maybe a little unnecessarily. Hasn't lost any yet. Oh no, oh no, the Mutas. I feel like he could have knocked these both out and done a ton of damage to the SCVs. So targeting some of the SCVs. Oh, I wonder if he could actually camp these back there. Oh man, losing 2 Mutas, and now here's the Bioforce. This is going to force those Mutalisks to come back home. He's got a couple here. This one sunken, not going to last very long, not with these Firebats. Firebats getting into the mineral line, knocking out a couple of these drones. This is not a good day for our Zerg's natural base, but here comes the rest of the Mutas. So we're sitting at, oh, I guess it's only 7. But it looks like it will be enough to clean up these medics. Some more Zerglings are coming in to help out. Gonna kill all these medics. Excellent. We'll see if he can find any counter opportunity. Again, not a whole lot of Mutas. We're down to 5. And I really feel like that was maybe a little bit of a missed opportunity here. But now it's been hardened. We got additional missile turrets. Got 3 down here at the natural. But the army for our Terran player has been effectively reset. Okay, third base going down for Zerg. Up here in the top left, if you recall, this is where Airn set his up as well. So, natural play pattern, get this up. Throw a couple Sunkens, take the main once this is defended. Now the SCV is going to come up here, is going to spot it. So I wouldn't be shocked if this becomes kind of a priority target for our Terran. Knock out that third, contain the main, and then come back for it later. Yeah, we see the bio moving out right now. Going to knock out these Zerglings. Going to run... Oh, I thought he was going to head cross map. No, it looks like he's continuing his aggression towards the top right. And not a bad choice, honestly. Like, he's got a creep colony up here that's almost schwacked. And disregard everything I'm saying. He is apparently going up to the top left. And he will undoubtedly eliminate everything that's here. A couple Hydralisks coming to support. These Mutas will probably get pulled as well. Now, we do have Lurkers out on the field. And this is going to help our Zerg player a lot with this Bioforce. But in response, we do already have science vessels on the way. I don't know what's up with this second control tower. I feel like maybe he made the starport here, did the control tower, didn't like the way the city was looking. Moved it right there. Okay, Terran up here in the top left, knocking out the natural. Looks like some of the drones have been evacuated to that high ground off to the right. So this is a solid attack here from Terran. Ooh, those were lurker eggs? Bummer. Okay, bio moving out. Ooh, no, getting hung up on the bridge. Actually going to spell disaster for some of this bio army. Lurkers able to start shredding. There was a scan, but there's just not enough here, I don't think. Okay, going to reburrow. Does get one of them. Oh man, this little group of Marines doing way more damage than they have any right to. And that's going to be it. So they're all dead. Second group of bio heading up to the top right, but their medics seem to not want to be following the group. Jeez, nice catch there by Discovery. Discovery really feels like he's in command of this game. Okay, big stem, move it in. Pull him back to take care of the Zerglings first. Let the reinforcements arrive. And then I think he might be able to actually clear through this natural, especially with the tank support. The muta count just isn't high enough to come in here and try to snipe this. Terran's going to be able to sit back and just let this siege tank go to work. And this first Sunken is about to fall. Now here comes some Scourges. Is he going to be able to get that science? Yo, he does! So Science Vessel goes down. That's going to increase the effectiveness of these Lurkers that he's morphing, but he needs to get them out in time. And here comes the Terran, stimming straight in. Now the eggs are about halfway until they hatch, but so many drones are going to fall. These Lurkers coming in from behind. I think these are the ones up in the top left that we saw earlier. And these Marines just doing a ton of damage, and that's going to be it. Ruhzo's going to throw in the GG and get us a game numero dos. All right, so that's going to be a map win for Discovery for the Bargain Bin Bonjwas. Looking to come back right now 2-0 against the Zero Effort Zell Rush at this tier. Let's go into game number 2. Just need to find it. These have been really fun games today. Like a lot of back and forth, a lot of not super quick ones, not terribly long ones. Everyone just playing very solid StarCraft, and it's really fun to watch. I guess that's what you get when you watch some tier 2 gameplay. So we've got Discovery, our red Terran, up here in the top right on Radeon. And he is representing the bargain bin Bonjwas. And then we got Ruhzo, our Zerg, down here in the bottom left in the blue for the zero effort Zealot rush. And what we saw last game was we saw, you know, a 12 hatch into pool, third hatchery in the main into 9 Mutalisks. Now, I think one of the biggest points of that last match was the lack of damage that the Mutalisks were able to accomplish in the Terran's base. I feel like if he had stuck around and knocked out those 2 turrets, there was only 2 at that time. There was no Marine support. Then he could have cleared that mineral line or at least forced a lot of frustration from the Terran. Maybe gotten some more damage done. That was kind of my biggest takeaway. From there, Terran just did a good job of keeping the third dead while Zerg was teching up to lurkers and trying to get kind of a critical mass there, but was unable to do so. Also a fun event last game was that SEV. That SEV damaging that Sunken freaking made it half dead or half alive. Depending if you're an optimist or not. So it looks like more of the same. Looks like we're going to be sending a drone down here at 12 to build a hatchery. This time Zerg is not going to get a first scout. I think they got a first. Yeah, well, their Overlord was able to scout last game. It's not going to have that fortune this time. So going to have to send a drone out to get confirmation. Alright, spawning pool about halfway complete. Hatchery as well. Getting that second supply depot, making this kind of wall here at the natural. And we've got that second scout going out down here to the bottom right. So he'll know that the Zerg is in the bottom left here real soon. But he hasn't confirmed everything. Welcome back, Esk. Let me allow your auto-modded message. You've missed some bangers, Esk. And no one's been talking. We talked about Star Trek. Talked about New Year's resolutions. We talked about taxidermy. We talked about bingo. By the way, we haven't had bingo cards in quite a while. But if you want to make a bingo card, go ahead and go to a website. I think Bingo Baker is one of them. Fill out a bingo sheet with whatever you anticipate to happen during these series. And post it in the CPL chat and ping Anderson. He handles all the prize support for our bingo sheets. Judges it on speed and creativity. Alright, expansion is going down here for our Terran. We are getting a refinery. Likely to see an academy going down here soon after this second barracks. Here comes some Zerglings. They're not going to get anything done, but they'll probably just hang out here, be annoying, provide vision. And here comes the lair. So biggest difference in this match from the Zerg's perspective is the lack of the third hatchery in the main. I think it came... Well, actually, I don't think we're there yet. But... Oh, never mind. There it is. So he did get a third hatchery, and he's going straight into Hydralisks. Now, this SCV did see it. So no surprises here. And there's no creep colony for this SCV to almost kill. So it's going to have to run home. Okay, Academy is almost complete. Now last game, Discovery did take his 2 medics and just move out. So that's kind of what I'm expecting again to happen. He's got his 6 Marine. Going to get his 2 medics. I guess 7 Marines now. We'll see if these Zerglings can pounce on this SCV. Oh! Nope. Here come the Marines to save the day. Dude, I want to see this Zergling kill this Marine, or this SCV. He got it! Oh! That's my Korean casting excitement. 2! Oh. I thought that Zergling was going to get 3 SCV kills. Okay, mixing in some fire bats. It's not uncommon to leave this fire bat at home either. Plug the hole against any potential run bys. Now, there's only 3 Zerglings here, so the run by potential is not terribly high. But we are a little bit later to get this this move out underway. But it still looks like he's going to be going for it. Now, over on this side, we do have 2 sunken colonies. They're going to be done in time and uninjured. So, big difference from last game. But we're also bringing... Are we bringing fire bats? No, we left them at home. This is the anti-run by fire bats. Okay, 2 sunkens, 3rd hatchery, Hydralisk den, 4 lurkers. Got a scan. He sees the 2 sunkens. Is he going to commit? I think no. Yeah, he's just going to hang out here and contain. We have lurkers as well, so if he did commit, it would be absolute suicide as opposed to partial. And these lurkers are going to make life a little bit difficult for our Terran player. It looks like he's stacking them up as well. So any scans or anything along those lines are only going to identify 2. Also makes them really tough to irradiate once we get science vessels. And once he identified that, I think he canceled a second turret that he was going to put here. And instead is going bunker and might put another turret out in front. Or maybe off to the side. Okay, so 3 barracks going up to factory. Yeah, you can see more canceled turrets. So good call there. One of the reasons you're supposed to scan around 5:30. Make sure there's no mutas coming your way. You can reuse that money somewhere else. Coffee. Okay, I don't think he's going to move out in here anytime soon. I think he's going to need a tank. He's getting a machine shop as well, so I think he thinks the same. Gonna get a tank, getting a starport. We have Ensnare coming for our Zerg player. We're gonna see Lurker Queen with Ensnare. I want to see Broodlings. I want to see Infested Terran. That's what I really want to see. We'll see if we get that far. Okay, another scan. Hitting the natural, seeing all these lurkers, all these Zerglings. 4th hatchery in the main. Now we're still on 2 mining bases, so this is still a relatively low economy Zerg. He has a good amount of drones. He's sitting at 35, very healthy drone count, but not a whole lot of mineral patches that he's pulling from. Going up to Hives. Okay, so Hive's going to finish. Where do we go from there? We're getting Zergling speed. Getting more Hydralisks. Got a whole grip of lurkers here, and now we're starting to move out. Okay, here comes the Queen. Is he going to ensnare? He does! Huge ensnare! Going to be able to burrow these lurkers and get so many shots off on this bio. That was huge! That was a beautiful engagement by our Zerg player. Well thought out and done. I love it! That was rad. Now, he had such a commanding force, I don't know if he really needed it, but it was super cool. So he's bringing the Queen along. And what I really want to see Zerg start expanding. Really do. Okay, we're loading up the bunkers. We have a couple siege tanks. This looks pretty tight. Now we're getting into Filer's Mound, and we're getting a Spire, though, as well. So, opting to kind of continue unlocking the tech tree here. Supply is looking pretty dang good for our Zerg player. He just scouted with that Zergling that indeed there are tanks. Good. Here comes Zerg. Gonna go get some expansions. This is just an SCV, not like a fire bat or anything. So feeling good. Whole bunch of reinforcements in the form of lurkers and Zerglings heading across the field. We've got consume being researched. We've got 2 engineering, evolution chambers going down. But no broodling. We're here for broodling and infested Terran. Okay, that Zergling just checked if there was tanks still. There are. Scanned right on top here, has an idea of what he's up against, and gonna start moving forward with these tanks. Now, don't want to get him right in top of the spines, but if he sieges up, the science vessels are gonna provide, oh, huge ensnare. Unfortunately, you can't follow it up. I don't know how long ensnare lasts. We'll have to see. All right, here we go. Knocks out 1 tank. Oh no, the ensnare again, super cool. Not sure how effective it's going to be though without the follow-up. That was a pretty good. This is a pretty good breakout for Terran. Okay, so ensnare actually doesn't last that long. That was maybe 15, 20 seconds. Lurker's being forced back, but what he needs to do is buy more time and also get this irradiated one out of the way. Ooh. Scourge almost connecting with the science vessel, not quite getting there though. And so now we're seeing the Terran really try to start breaking out. Get some damage, maybe get a third. We've got the 2 hatcheries down in the bottom right for Zerg, so can start getting that economy up and running. We also have a couple of defilers. And so with those 2 bases, that does bring our hatchery count up to 6. So still, we got to be very careful with Zerg from bleeding units. All right, tanks pretty good against lurkers. Gotta unburrow these, get them out of there. These 2 are going to go down at the same time if we're not careful. Does get one of the science facilities. Nice dark swarm there. That's going to really slow down this Terran force, I say. And then they're just like, I'll run around. You ever see those pictures of like the gates that are just on the sidewalk, but there's no like walls protruding from them? That's basically what this was. This was just that gate in the middle of the sidewalk. Oh no! Oh, an ensnare! I love the use of ensnare here. Definitely something I think Ruhzo is getting practice in. You know? Ooh. Getting some lurker hits. But things are looking bad, all right? So, I mean, after those past couple of engagements, we've lost pretty much the entirety of the army for Zerg. And when it comes to supply, Terran is up 40 supply. He's heading down here to the bottom right. I don't think there's Nidus here. There is not. And so there's really nothing in position to really defend this bottom right for Zerg. Oh, and Zerg realizes it. He's like, dang it. Ensnare wasn't enough. Hey, great game by both players. And I think, what was that? That was 2-0? Yeah, that was 2-0 for our Terran player. So that puts the bargain bin Bonjwas on the board with Discovery's 2-0 over Ruhzo. Great games. And let's go into our last series of the day. It is going to be Mevious versus InsideJob, which is a classic matchup, really. Really is. It's going to be a PVZ. So, InsideJob, I'm always used to him playing Terran, but this season he is playing Zerg. And we're going to be on Knockout. And let me show you guys this, and let me fix the scorecard while you stare at Mevious mining. So Mevious is representing the bargain bin Bonjwas as our red Protoss player. And then InsideJob, name's really long, I'm just going to stop there, is going to be our Zerg player representing, representing ZEZR. Zero effort Zealot Rush. So here we are on Knockout. We've got Mevious in the top left as our red Protoss. And we've got IJ, InsideJob. Our blue Zerg here in the top right representing Zero Effort Zealot Rush. So a fun fact is I play Mevious all the time in Starcraft Underground. All the time. And he dumpsters me every time. Never beat him. He is probably one of my New Year's resolutions is to beat Mevious at Starcraft. So definitely rooting for IJ here. Whoa, super fast pool. Don't know if that was 4 or 5. But we're going mega aggressive here from IJ. And that's what we're rooting for, okay, guys? We are all rooting for Mevious to die. Because he just dumpsters me in StarCraft Underground all the time. Is that fair? I don't know. We root for InsideJob. That's who we're rooting for. We're going to do a biased cast. But no, Mevious, cool dude. Good Protoss player. This should be a really good series. And I'm curious to see how he defends against this 4 pool. He didn't actually go up into the base. He like poked up, saw the creep, and ran out. Let me go ahead and allow your chat there, Escalade. Esk, I need to like make you a mod so you can allow your own inappropriate messages. Okay, so we just have the Forge. No cannons right now. Also, no reaction from a bunch of probes just yet. And this second probe isn't going to see the Lings move out. Which one's going to happen first? Okay, he sees these Lings. And then okay, there's the reaction. So right now is the moment Mevious goes, ah, shit. Darting down these cannons. They all go down. How many Zerglings we got? We got 6 Zerglings still. And GG! Boom! IJ takes it with the 4 pool. This cast, we've had 2 4 pools. And that is going to give Zero Effort Zealot Rush a map win against Bonjwas. Good job, IJ. Good job. Thanks, IJ. I agree that your game was very good. Going into game number 2, we are going to be on Radeon. Will IJ 4 pool again? God, I hope so. They never expect it. You know, you always prepare yourself for the 4 pool, but you feel like when the 4 pool happens, it's done. You did it. You survived. No one expects you to do it every single time. So maybe we'll get lucky and we'll have that this time. But I just saw a drone get built up there, so maybe not. But anyway, up here in the top right on Radeon is Bargain Bin Bonjwas, Red Protoss, Mevious. Down here in the bottom left, we have our blue Zerg, who just won with a 4 pool. IJ, representing the Zero Effort Zealot Rush. IJ, another person that puts in a ton of effort, plays a lot of games. We were talking about Mick earlier. These are players that have many, many games. I think I was playing with Mick last night, and I noticed he like jumped into the server, right, and like jumped into the match. And you know, when people show up, it's like this player has won this many and lost this many. Mick's was like 1,500 wins, 1,500 losses, like an insane amount of games. I think I've probably played 300 games total ever. I should actually check. I'm not entirely sure. I did check a while back, and it was only a couple hundred. And I don't even know if AI matches count towards that number. No, that's not how I was counting. I think I was counting. I have like a profile per server, and like I went into each of the profiles because I've never deleted a profile. So anyway, doing Forge Fast Expand again. First Scout did not work up there in the top left. Not work, rather I should say his first scout was not a first scout. He's going down here to the bottom left, and then he'll be heading over to the bottom right and identifying where the Zerg is. Now, Overlord also not seeing anything in the bottom left, sending a drone, looks like up towards the top right, is going to get confirmation that that's where the Protoss is chilling. with their forge. Now we do have a cannon going down. Mevious, not expecting or wanting a 4-pool, I'm sure, but putting down a second cannon as well. Sometimes you'll see one cannon and then a gateway. Mevious doing 2, just to play it extra safe against early Zerglings. This effectively shuts down most early Zergling plays, from what I've been able to tell. And here comes the probe. He's going to be coming in. He's going to see the expansion. He's going to see 4 Zerglings. But I'm not sure he's going to be able to see a whole lot else. Nope, never mind. Probes are slippery. Unkillable probes. He's going to get in here. Keep an eye on things. Okay, cool. Now we have an expansion going down for Protoss any second. Which, again, is a choice, right? I've seen any combination of Nexus, 2 cannons, and Gateway after the Forge. So, looks like he's waiting to produce his Gateway. I think that makes sense when you already did the two cannons. Might as well start getting the economy up and running. We're going to have 4 Zerglings heading across the map from IJ, and we also have a 3rd base being thrown down. So, pretty standard, like Hydralisk opening is what I'm, obviously predicting in a TV or ZVP. Might see a 973 action going on here. I'm like saying these terms, I have no idea what they mean. Like, yeah, 973. It's like 6-7, but different. I hate 6-7. I never thought I'd hate a number so much. Alright, 3rd base finishing up. See? 9. Not quite 7, but getting there. Okay, so really the next thing I want to keep an eye on, I do think we're going to see 973 Hydralisks. But of course I'm always wrong. Here comes the layer. I don't think that's part of it. Maybe it is. But what I'm curious about as well, yeah, it might be 3-base Muta. I think you're right, staged. Just because of that layer being thrown down like that. But I'm curious to see if Mevious ends up going Corsairs, and if he does, what effectiveness he gets from them. Yeah, so there's the Stargate. I've seen mixed results from Mevious when it comes to Corsair usage. Sometimes he varies the amount that he makes. And I'm curious to see how many he makes and what direction he goes with it if we're going to be encountering kind of 3-base Muta. Now, this might not be Muta, right? So this might actually still be 973 Hydralisk, but he's getting the Spire for Scourge. So that actually makes more sense to me. And then I think he might throw the Hydralisk Den like down here. We'll see. We'll see. IJ in the chat just being like, Manshark, you're an idiot. That's not what I'm doing at all. Yeah, no, it was a great game to watch, Mick. That was a really fun one. Is it already too many drones? I think we had 9. He built a Spire. Yeah, 10. Way more than 3. Okay. You're right, staged. Okay, so now we're getting a 4th hatchery. Still no Hydrogen. Okay, so it does look like Mutas. Now, how effective are Mutas going to be? We're going to have the Corsairs pop out. There's nothing up here yet. He is building a cannon near the Stargate, which is good practice. Prevents the Scourge from just parking on top and blowing things up as they come out. And now this Corsair is going to head over, and what can be pretty damaging is the Corsairs knocking out a bunch of Overlords. Now, we do have the 5th hatchery, and we do have the Hydralisk Den starting now, but the Corsair is going to have free reign here for a little bit. I don't see... Okay, no, we do have a couple pair of Scourge, and they're down here at the natural. So we keep the Overlords here as IJ. Scourge can pop out and hit the Corsair, but Mevious is content with just knocking out some scouting. So now he's going to kind of go back up across the map, keeping an eye out for Overlords. You can see he kind of did it down, over, and then up. He's like... This is like how you mow a lawn, right? And we'll see if he goes back over and then down. Oh, no, I guess not. Gosh. All right, here come the Scourge. They're going to come in. They're going to see the cannon. They're going to run away. It'd be really cool if he could dive in on one of these Corsairs, though. That'd be neat. Ooh, but he does lose one. That's a feel bad. All right, but now we're here at Hydralisk production. So IJ starting to pump out Hydralisk at quite a rate. Got 5 hatcheries up. So 5 hatch Hydra. Using the Spire for Scourge. Here we go. And so this is a little bit of what I was talking about when it comes to Mevious and Corsair usage. So I've seen him go up to like 7 and be really aggressive with them and hunting overlords, diving in. But I've also seen him stay as low as like 3 and prioritize ground army. So it looks like we're kind of doing the ground army prioritization. We're starting to blow up with more gateways, right? So we got 4 going down. We already have Templar Archives. You're right, we do have air weapons being upgraded, and we have a 5th Corsair being made. Meanwhile, on IJ's side, getting a ton of Hydras, getting Loogie range, getting +1 spitting. And here we go. Here we go. Let's see if he can do a bust. Now, Storm is almost done. He's going to get there like right as Storm completes. And the energy is slowly building up. Here's our 5 Corsairs. Curious if we're going to mix in DTs or if we're just going to stay High Templar. I think High Templar just makes a lot of sense here. Storm all this Hydralisk to oblivion. That's what this is going to come down to. Is if he can get the energy and he can knock out these Storms. He does throw down 2 more cannons. Oh no, the Zealot's getting aggroed out here. They're going to go down for free. And now, +1 melee. There's no way this is going to finish. Huge Storm. Oh my gosh. Another one. This is what it's all about. The Hydralisk still in just wild numbers, though. Another big Storm coming in. IJ reacting really well. Closing the distance. Knocking down these cannons as he can. A couple more High Templar, but they just don't have the energy right now. The Hydra showed up way too early, and he's going to start knocking down these cannons. Oh my gosh, all the cannons at the front have been eliminated. The Archon goes down immediately. 3 High Templar is all that stands between Mevious and death, and the Hydralisk just keep showing up. Nice big Storm there. Not sure if it's going to be enough, though. What do we have producing? We got a bunch of Zealots, a whole round of Zealots coming out. Should be able to push these Hydras out of the main. We got 1 cannon down here at the natural, trying to hold on for dear life. A couple more cannons. And this is kind of the make or break for Mevious. Can this next Storm change the course of this battle? Oh, but IJ's just too on top of it. Microing these Hydras out of the way, knocking out that last cannon. Oh, I guess there is one up there. Oh no, the Zealot's derping around a little bit. Start killing. IJ throwing down Lurker Eggs on the ramp, sealing off the main base from the natural, going to kill all of these probes. Absolutely dirty. Another cannon attempted, but gets knocked down. The Hydra's spitting on anything that comes in. When in doubt, spit on it. Zerg players. Oh my gosh, the Lurkers on the ramp, pushing back these Zealots. Not enough energy on this. The natural does die for Mevious. This is not looking good. GG. All right, so IJ coming out on top for the 0-effort Zealot rush. Getting the 2-0 against Mevious, who's very strong Protoss players. So very well fought. And today we got to see 2 4 pools. The only thing better than 2 4 pools is more than 2 4 pools. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and let's do our CPL anthem. We'll raid somebody, and we'll all have a kick-ass day. But just a quick recap: Airn versus McTarran, 2-1. Really fun. I mean, all these series were really fun, but that one really started us off on a solid tone. Newbtier versus Airn V666. We got a masterclass of gateway macro from Airn. during those rounds. Discovery versus Ruhzo. Ruhzo with the ensnares was just really fun to watch. And then Mevious versus IJ, and IJ coming out on top with his overwhelming Zerg play. So very, very fun. GG's to everyone. Azizi, what's up, my man? Yeah, I'm doing too much casting, honestly. It's probably impacting my personal life, but I think it's just so much fun. Like, look at me. I'm here on the beach, enjoying the sunshine, casting some Starcraft. I haven't even asked people to Prime sub so that we could support skew tourneys. I'm really behaving well. All right, let's go ahead and find someone to raid. We'll probably just do Gypsy. Gypsy's cool. Yeah, we'll do Gypsy. But let's do our CPL anthem first. Okay, so everyone stand up. We got to show the respect to the CPL anthem and the organization that we all hold dear, and that we come here to watch each other beat the snot out of each other. Fingering commence. Yeah.
Winners rise and losers fall, reflexes sharp, minds enthrall. Gamers play, this never ends.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and raid Gypsy. Send all y'all on your merry way. Hopefully everyone had a kick-ass time and has a great weekend. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.